Hello, my name is Sylvia Young, and today I'm going to be talking about tourism commercialization and the erosion of local culture. To begin, imagine stepping into a vibrant marketplace where every smile and gesture is part of a performance designed for tourists rather than genuine connection. In the realm of tourism, the pursuit of authenticity often clashes with commercialized interactions that can erode local culture. As communities reshape their traditions to attract visitors, authentic cultural expressions become diluted or staged, losing their original significance. This dynamic not only affects how tourists experience a place, but also threatens the preservation of the local culture itself. Join me as we explore the intricate relationship between tourism, intercultural communication, and the impact on cultural integrity, and discover how we can foster more respectful and meaningful interactions. The topic I chose to explore is how commercialized mass tourism has negatively affected local cultures and traditions through practices of staged authenticity, and how this has contributed to superficial encounters that perpetuate stereotypes. Commercialization is defined as a commercial relationship established around tourism products and activities. When profit is prioritized over cultural preservation, the erosion of local culture occurs. Today, tourism is the largest employer and generator of foreign exchange, according to author Shahati. This is especially vital for the economic growth of developing countries that strive to attract visitors from all over the world. The issue of commercialized tourism and how it affects local cultures is important to me for several reasons. First, this topic highlights the often overlooked exploitation and stress experienced by hosts, who often have to compromise their cultural integrity and personal well-being for financial survival. Hosts choosing to embrace tourism and therefore its economic advantages is an example of a revitalization and adoption. Communities such as Colonial Williamsburg have been known to actively invest money in order to attract tourists. Another reason issues of commercialized cultural interactions are crucial to me is because it underscores how superficial and ritualistic tourist experiences can perpetuate stereotypes and hinder genuine intercultural understanding. A disturbing example of the fabrication of cultural images for mass consumption is a falsified fishing experience located at a Senegal resort in West Africa. Here, tourists are offered the opportunity to fish in the native style and assist the natives in hauling their nets in. What isn't disclosed is the fact that the authentic local fishermen have been ordered away from this part of the coast to aid the tourists in catching more fish, therefore improving their overall experience. Lastly, I recognize that these imbalances can drive more ethical tourism practices, promoting fairness and respect in host-tourist relationships, which I hope can guide myself and future tourists in making more informed and mindful travel choices that support authentic cultural exchanges. This topic is applicable today because mass tourism is still relatively new. Following World War II, mass travel came into being as a manifestation of Western mass consumption in an increasingly interdependent global economy, according to author Oriel. With this fact in mind, it's crucial how, now more than ever, we begin exercising practices that will undo the loss of local cultures before the damage is irreversible. The intercultural concept that I believe to be most applicable with my topic of tourism commercialization is the issue of authenticity. Dean McKinnell, who proposed that concept of staged authenticity, describes the touristic desire to share in the real life of the places we visited and to see a life as it really is, as it was really lived, in his 1970 book, The Tourist. It's in this book that he reflects a tourist report from a Spanish town, which is narrated as, quote, a living village and not a restoration of an authentic Spanish town. The Spanish reporter even recounts that here one can better see and understand the Andalusian style of life. This excerpt communicates tourists' desire for authenticity, which is sometimes falsified through intentionally created settings and activities. McKinnell did not give a clear definition of authenticity when he published his book, and as a result, multiple interpretations and meanings have appeared over time, including objective authenticity, constructive authenticity, existential authenticity, and postmodern authenticity. According to authors Zhang, Yin, and Peng, objective authenticity refers to authenticity that recognizes the originality of the tourism object. This could be any material object, such as a work of art or piece of architecture, that has not been influenced by modern time and can be proven by a certificate of authenticity. Constructive authenticity refers to the tourist perspective of the authenticity of toured objects and is therefore subjective. Existential authenticity is experience-oriented and describes the potential state of being activated by tourist activities. This refers to the degree to which a person's actions align with their values and desires. Lastly, postmodern authenticity is defined by authors of this case study as unlike the other definitions because it does not relate to toured objects being authentic and inauthentic, because toured objects are often forced attractions that are simulated without original references. My themes across research include authenticity and sustainability. For my first one, the theme that relates to 3 of my articles is authenticity, which refers to the genuine representation and experience of a destination's culture, traditions, and way of life. According to author Zhang, heritage tourism is a form of tourism that attracts tourists based on the commercialization of historical and cultural assets. A heritage site not only draws tourists to experience the authentic past, which McKenna has proposed most tourists seek out, but it also provides them with a place for entertainment, relaxation, and consumption. In his book, The Tourist, McKenna explains his theory that tourists seek out realness through a metaphor about a child's field trip. He demonstrates that school children's tours of firehouses, banks, newspapers, and dairies designed to reveal inner workings of a place are educational and intriguing, with them being allowed to, quote, enter bank vaults and see $1 million or touch cow udders. This excerpt is a metaphor for the fascination some tourists feel visiting and experiencing historical sites. A recently developed alternative to physically visiting heritage sites could offer a solution to commercialize heritage sites and disrupted local communities, especially when one considers the fact that tourists tend to pay attention to short-term self-related benefits rather than long-term oriented to sustainability concerns, according to author Tashi. Metaverse tourism is defined by authors Kang and Go as a tourism that provides a product or experience with collective spatial environments enhanced by multi-sensory information processing and the convergence of physical and virtual environments. With resources including generated infrastructures, multiple sensory information, and metaverse technologies, humans are able to fabricate genuine experiences that avoid negative impacts on the sustainability of tourism, resources, and the quality of residents' lives. Consumer demand for sustainability benchmarks in tourism and hospitality. Some examples of tourist attractions that provide metaverse tourism experiences include Avatar's Flight of Passage located in Disney World, as well as Digital Waterfall by the Pacific Vision Center of the Aquarium of the Pacific. While the article by Zhang and Peng depicts an unauthentic tourist experience, McKenna's book describes a quite authentic tourist scenario. Similar to heritage tourism, metaverse tourism does not provide the most authentic experience. However, it holds many benefits, including a reduced environmental impact and increased preservation of cultural and natural heritage by providing virtual access to sites that are vulnerable. The other theme that connects my last 3 articles is sustainability solutions. The term sustainability can be defined as the balance between the environment, equity, and economy to maintain processes over time. The discussion of sustainable tourism began to emerge as a form of awareness reaction to the contribution of tourism to global warming and environmental damage. Sustainable tourism is one solution which seeks to minimize the impact of travel on global warming, enhance the well-being of local communities, and promote social justice through ecological guidelines for tourism activities. Essentially, sustainable development aims to improve the quality of life for everyone in a way that is both viable now and in the future, which sustainable tourism plays a part in. There are 3 dimensions of sustainable development that are now recognized and emphasized: economic sustainability, which involves creating prosperity across various levels of society while ensuring cost efficiency in all economic activities. It is characterized by the long-term viability of businesses and operations and their ability to sustain themselves over time. Second, social sustainability. This involves upholding human rights and ensuring equal opportunities for all members of society. It requires fair distribution of benefits to help alleviate poverty with a focus on supporting local communities. This includes preserving and strengthening their systems of life, acknowledging and respecting diverse cultures, and preventing any form of exploitation. Third and finally, environmental sustainability. This involves conserving and managing resources, particularly non-renewable ones. Actions are required to reduce air, soil, and water pollution, as well as to protect biodiversity and natural heritage. According to the article, Sustainable Tourism, a State-of-the-Art Review by Richard W. Butler, the intense focus on environmental issues in discussions of sustainable development has been critically examined by several scholars who have questioned why this concept is so often framed exclusively in terms of environmental concerns. One explanation for this focus is that sustainable development emerged during a period of heightened global environmental awareness, coinciding with visible environmental impacts from tourism in established destinations and increased political support for environmental protection. However, in the context of tourism, it should have been clear that tourism affects both the physical and human aspects of a destination. Its impact extends beyond environmental resources, such as vegetation, wildlife, and water, to also significantly affect cultural and social resources. The World Tourism Organization has acknowledged this by emphasizing that sustainable tourism development should address the needs of current tourists and host regions while safeguarding and enhancing opportunities for the future. For my literature review, I learned numerous new tourism terms such as metaverse tourism and heritage tourism. Based on my research, I believe metaverse tourism should be the future of experiencing historical sites without the drawbacks of habitat destruction and social issues, such as an increased cost of living and a lack of privacy for local residents. And then here is my works cited. Thank you.